So good morning friends, we are back with our new lesson which is called as the shapes. Because today Dhavya is studying shapes and she is literally confused
Yeah,
about the flat and
and the
the
solid shapes.
flat and solid shapes. So we are going to discuss first of all the flat shapes, then solid shapes. What is the difference basically between the flat shape and the solid shapes? Okay. Then for the flat shapes, we are going to discuss regarding the sides of the flat shapes.
Okay.
We are going to discuss regarding the corners
Okay.
in the flat shapes.
Okay.
Then we are going to study the 3D shapes and we are going to see if they are rolling or they are sliding. Okay. And then we are going to see in all the solid shapes what kind of sides and what kind of edges they are having, what are the properties of these
Yeah.
solid shapes. We are going to discuss one by one.
Okay. I'm so excited.
That's great. So let's start. So first of all, just for your understanding, okay, what is the difference between the 2D and
3D.
3D?
The difference is only that the number is like the 2 is 2. The 2 is the flat figure, and 3D is like solid figure, right?
Okay, so when we are talking about 2D, okay, it means two dimensional. So here we are talking about the flat
Flat
shapes.
shapes.
Okay, when we are talking about the flat shapes, they are having one very important property. They are not having any height. Okay, so you're drawing like circle, you're drawing like triangle.
I'm drawing
you're
like
drawing-
a man, like its face.
No, wait. You hear me what I'm telling, okay? So, for example, we are talking about the triangle, rectangle, circle. So, these are the flat shapes that you have to study,
Okay.
okay? And these shapes are not having any height because they are only in the two dimensions. Okay, two dimensions means like I have drawn in the paper, like I can show you. For example, this slide or this paper you are seeing, it's in two dimensional. So for example, let's draw some lines here.
Okay. That's a very, very big
It's
line.
not straight lines, so just I'll go to shapes and try to draw some lines over here. So for example, this is a one line,
Okay, that's a straight one.
and we'll go and draw one more line.
Like, are you drawing a square?
No.
It almost looks like one.
So for example, okay,
Are you gonna do blue
so you are having one point over here, okay,
in the two places, right?
okay,
In the middle.
and somebody is asking you what is the address of this point, and you imagine here horizontal you are having one number line and vertical also you are having one number line, okay, and for example this number line, so this point is lying here,
Almost like
Here.
you're drawing a wiggly again.
here, and so we are reaching from here to here, the distance is, let's say, 3,
Are you drawing?
okay, and the vertical also, the distance, let's say, is 4. So the address of this number is
4,
3
3, and 4.
and 4,
You can do another bracket. Yeah, bracket
okay,
first.
but the same point, if it starts flying or it comes in the start flying, so we will be having one more dimension which will be added to this. Basically normally we are calling these dimensions as x dimension this is y dimension, and if this point start flying, then we are calling it as a z dimension.
Z dimension
Means third dimension. Okay, so if for example from this point, if it is flying, let's say above 4 points, so we can call that point address will be 3 in the x dimension, and then 4 in the y dimension, and then 4 in the
other dimension.
third dimension.
And
So this will be the dimension.
what?
So this is what I just want to teach you, okay, that when we are talking about the flat shapes, they are only having 2-dimensional points. They are not having any 3-dimensional point. Okay, these flat surfaces are not having any height. Okay, whereas if we are talking about the 3D or we are talking about the solid shapes, they are always having a height and they are having a points which can be in the third dimensions. Okay, example of the solid shapes is starting from sphere. Okay, then you have a cuboid, you have a cube, you have a cylinder. Okay, so let's start. We'll start with the okay, we'll go to the paint and draw it. Actually, it's more easier for us. So let's start with some 2D shapes. Okay, let's start with the
2D shape?
what is this?
Circle.
What is this?
Triangle.
What is this?
Square.
And what is this?
That's almost like a rectangle.
So okay, these are the 2D shapes
2D shapes?
or flat shapes.
Okay.
So you know the names of these shapes?
Yeah.
Okay. So first shape is
Almost like triangle.
not triangle, rectangle. Okay. So this rectangle, if you see, how many corners this rectangle is having? Can you tell me? Four corners. We have 4 corners over here. So for example, if you see, this is the first corner here. Okay,
The second corner.
and here you are having, let me check where we can write something.
And
So here we are having second corner. So we are back, we are having 4 corners over here. So we are just trying to name the corners. Where are the corners we are having? So
number 3.
these are the corners we are having. So what we have done is we have marked all the corners over here. Okay.
So we have
So
1,
it's
2,
1, 2,
3,
3,
4.
4 corners. Okay.
Yep.
Now if
And
I'll
4
ask you.
sides too.
Exactly. So that's the second question that I want to ask you. How many sides this is having? So we are having
Again,
4 sides.
we have 4 sides.
1 side, 2 side,
Because
3 side, and 4 side.
Because all the corners, how many it will be there? Only that much size only it will be there, right? Almost, right?
I think you are correct.
Almost, right?
Almost. So let's say second thing we will come back to the circle. So circle, how many corners the circle is having?
0.
And how many sides the circle is having?
0.
That's good. So we have 0 sides, 0 corners. There it is, triangle. How many corners we are having?
3.
And how many sides we are having?
3.
Next is square.
Square also has the same way of square or rectangle. It almost have the same number of corners and also sides.
Exactly. So we are having square on place where we are having 4 corners and we are having a 4 sides.
just like that shape. What?
That's like a rectangle. Okay.
Yeah, rectangle and
So you
square
understood.
have the same way of the number. Right?
Okay, so somebody is asking you, for example, you have to write two features of each shape, flat shapes here. You can write it very easily, saying that first of all about the rectangle, that this is a rectangle. Okay, this is having four corners and this is having a four sides. Next is circle. We are having a two features, which is this is a circle, this is having no corners and this is having a no sides. Third is a triangle. Again, this is a triangle, this is having a three corners and this is having a three sides. Last is square. Again, we can have a three features, that this is a square and this is having four sides and this is having four corners. Okay.
We can also write two.
Yeah. Okay. Now the last question I want to ask you. You know what is the difference between the rectangle and the square?
Yeah.
Tell me.
The rectangle is a more stretchable way and it does not have the same size of it. The up ones are a little big and the sides of it, the betweens of it, it is smaller.
Okay. And in case of a square?
And the case of the square is the same way that all the sides are same.
Okay.
And
So
it's
that's
not even stretchable.
okay. So that's the difference. In the rectangle, all the sides are not equal. Okay. Only two sides are equal. Other two opposite sides are equal. In case of a square, all the sides are of equal length. Okay. So we are calling it as a square. Okay. So that's good. So now we will come down to the 3D shapes.
Yep.
Okay. So just for the viewers, we are doing all these things in Paint 3D. Viewers means whoever is watching this video. For them, I am telling that we are doing all these things in Paint 3D. So if they want to teach their kids, they can use the Paint 3D and teach these shapes very easily. So next we will come down to the solid shapes. So the first solid shape that we are going to learn about is okay, and okay. So now this is a 3D shape, okay, because this shape is having some height, right? You can see here it's having
Yeah.
a height, and this shape is also having some points which are on the z dimensions. So this is like
It's
x.
just like a cube. Just like in cube, right?
Yeah, this is like a cube because all the sides are almost equal, so we are calling it as a cube. For example, if you are having one other shape,
Another shape. It's square.
okay, this is not square, this is in 3D. So when 3D, it can be a cuboid or 1 minute. Let's try it once more.
Okay.
Yes. So this is like we are having something called
Like
as
a chocolate box. Right? Like almost like
sorry.
a chocolate box.
So this is like a cuboid.
And it look like a chocolate box.
So first is a cube, second is a cuboid. Okay. So now cuboid. This is first we'll talk about cube or cuboid. That's the same thing. It's like same like a square and the rectangle, as in flat shapes. But in this case of a 3D shapes, we are calling it as a cube
And a
and-
cuboid.
and a cuboid. Okay. So if we are talking about cube, you
It's
have
in
to
my
tell me.
notebook also.
So for the cubes, you have to tell me, okay, that how many
Alright.
flat sides it's having.
Flat side.
So you can see, right? I can rotate this thing for you. Okay. I can rotate again this for you. Can you tell me how many flat sides this?
One is at the bottom,
Okay.
one is at the above,
Okay.
one is at the sides.
Okay. So how many total?
4.
Wrong.
How?
Okay. So if we are talking about this this flat sides, it's total having a 6 flat sides. Okay.
What?
So 6 flat sides. How I will tell you. For
How?
example, it's having a 2 sides, one at the top, one at the bottom, 2, and 4 are on the other side. See, if I'll rotate you, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see, right? It's having a 4 sides, 4 flat sides,
Four.
and top and bottom. So it's having a total 6 flat sides.
What?
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So same in case of a cuboid. For example, this is a cuboid. Okay, this
Like
is
a
a
pencil
cuboid,
box.
like a pencil box. It's having how many flat sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So cube and cuboid, how many flat sides they are having? Tell me,
What?
how many flat sides the cube is having? Just now I taught you.
A cube?
It's having how many flat sides?
6.
You understand how? Can you explain?
This cube have 6 sides,
Flat sides.
flat sides, and
Can you
But-
count? Can you count them?
yep. Can you just rotate it for me 1 minute?
Okay. In the school, nobody is going to rotate for you, so you have to learn it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. Try to do it myself.
No, you cannot do it. I'll teach you later on. You just count the shapes. Sorry, flat sides. How many flat sides?
1.
Where is one?
This
This where? Top or bottom?
top.
Second.
Second is above the down part.
Okay. Then
And rest are 4 sides which are besides it, right?
so how many are total?
Total 6.
So you understand? Same thing with the cuboid also. Okay, it's having a 6 flat sides.
How can that be?
6 flat sides. Okay, how can that be? I told you this is like a pencil box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
Okay, so you have to learn this. Okay. Okay. And the next thing that I want to tell you is these shapes. Okay. When we push, it will slide. It will.
Slide.
Okay. But if we are thinking about a sphere, or if we are thinking about cylinder, it will roll. Okay. It will not slide. It will.
Roll.
So the only two things can be possible with the solid shapes. Either they will slide or they will.
Roll.
Okay. So let's.
Cube can only slide.
I will show you some other shapes. For example, this is a what?
Circle.
It's not circular. Sure, just see it carefully. What is this? Okay, I think you are not able to see in 3D, but it's what I've tried is a sphere. This
Like
is,
a ball? You tried?
yeah, this is a ball.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what is this? This is a ball or a sphere. So sphere is having how many sides? How many flat surface?
Zero.
0 flat surface. Okay. So you have to be very careful. And when we push it, it will slide or it will roll
Roll.
because it's sphere. So it will roll.
Roll. And it's not able to rotate, or only
It will rotate.
it'll rotate.
Okay. Now next.
A cap?
So you know what is this?
A cone, a cone. A cone. A cone, right?
This is a cone. Okay. So can you tell me now in this cone how many flat shapes we are having? Flat surface we are having.
Only one.
Only flat surface is only one.
One.
Okay. Flat surface. Okay. So only one flat surface, and when we will push,
It
It will-
will slide.
it will slide. Okay.
Or if we kick it, it will fall maybe.
It will
Or-
fall and then it will roll. Okay.
Yep.
So now we'll go to another shape, which is this one.
This is just like a cylinder, right?
This is a cylinder. Okay, that's good. And how many flat surface it's having?
Two, and it
One is
can
top
roll,
one.
and it can roll also,
When
and
you're
it can
pushing,
slide also.
It can roll and it can slide both. Okay,
Yeah,
done.
done.
So I think we are done with this. So what is going to happen is now, for example, you might in the exams they will might ask you, you have to write two features about this cylinder.
It has two
Flat sides.
flat sides, and it can roll and
when we'll
slide.
push, it will roll.
And push it.
Okay. So you don't write for the cylinder that it will slide. You write that it will roll. Okay. Because most of the times it will roll, it will not slide. Okay.
But it can roll also
Because
and
it is
slide.
because it is round in shape, so it will slide.
Almost slide.
Yeah. For example, it's like a pencil. Yeah. For example, when you are pushing it, it will roll.
Yeah.
Okay. But if we put like this and try to slide it, it will not slide. It will only
Fall.
roll.
It will roll.
So you for the cylinder, you have to write that the cylinder will roll. Okay, so for in the exam, if they are asking the two features about this shape, you can write that this is a cylinder. It's having two flat sides, and if when you push, it will roll.
Roll.
Okay. So I think so same way, if you are getting cone in your exam, you can write that this is a cone, and the second identification it's having only one flat side. Okay, and I'll push, it will what at 12:2. It will also roll. Okay, it will roll and slide both is possible. Okay, so now one more thing I have to ask you. This is last thing. For
Okay.
example, I will draw two kind of shapes. One is this shape. Okay, and I want to draw one 3D shape for you, which is this one, this one. Okay, and I will make it like this so you can see it properly. Can you tell me what is the difference between both the shapes?
This one is 3D and this one is 2D.
Or this one is flat shape and this is solid shape. 2D is a flat shape, 3D is a
Other kind of
solid shape.
shape.
Okay, this is the difference between two. Okay, so next thing is, so we are having some example. We can discuss about some example for you. Example, you are having one juice can, you are
Okay.
having one pencil box, you are having one bottle, and you are having one globe. So which one will roll? So to identify this, we should understand what is the shape of these things that we are talking about. So
Okay.
globe is what shape? Globe,
Almost like a globe shape is a circle.
sphere.
Where
It's a solid sphere, so it
but
will
you can
roll.
say also circle.
So it will roll. No, circle is a flat surface.
Oh yeah.
Sphere is a solid surface, so we will call it as a sphere, not circle. Okay, don't mistake it. Okay, so like that, if you might get like this. You might get this solid shapes in the exam, and you have to write two features about that. For example, they might give you the sphere, and they will ask you to write two features of the sphere. So you have to write like it can be a ball or something. So you can write that this is a sphere. It's not having any side. Okay, it's not having any flat surface, and if we will push, it will roll. Similarly, for cuboid and cylinder, you can write. You understand? Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's great. So I hope by today class everybody must have understood So I'll just revise it for you once more. Okay. Then we are, what is the difference between the flat surface and the solid shapes? Flat shape is a 2D shape and the solid shape is a 3D shape. Okay. Flat shape is not having any height, it's a flat figure, whereas a 3D or the solid shapes will be having a height and it's a solid figure. Okay. Example of 2D shapes can be, or flat surface can be, can you tell me?
What?
Flat surface examples?
Flat surface examples.
Yeah.
Like a square,
Okay.
a cuboid,
Cuboid is a flat surface.
not a cuboid. It was almost like a cube.
Cube is a solid shape.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, once again, tell me, what are the flat shapes I'm talking about, which is not having any height? You have to tell me.
What?
Flat shapes examples.
Flat shapes examples.
Tell me flat shape examples.
Almost.
Oh, show so many examples, right? I have shown you triangle, I have shown you circle, I have shown you rectangle. 4 I have shown you, right? How can you forget? And then for the solid shapes examples, then that time it is cube, cuboid, sphere and cylinder, cone. All these are 3D shapes examples. Okay. So thank you very much.
नीचे वो आया एडम आया अभी ला जा फिर खाना अब भी खाओ